picks, a little seasonal type of videos I've been doing for this month. This one is going to be for the Blob, the 80s remake extraordinaire kick-assery that is the Blob. The original is, of course, a Steve McQueen film. The original was fine. I think it's as its place kind of thing. It's very much a kind of a satire of its time. It's, you know, based 1950s kind of thing, a bit more of a old school kind of approach to kind of horror, and it has its place and there's some charms to it, but the remake definitely blows the doors off that original 100%. Directed by Chuck Russell, who's going to do some fantastic movies during the 80s. Obviously, Frank Darabont, who's the co-writer of this film also, which went on to do Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, of course, and also The Walking Dead. The Blob is a definitive 80s experience. If you've not seen the Blob remake, you owe it to yourself to watch it this Halloween. If you want a tight 90-minute experience where a blob from kind of space comes in and basically rips the shred out of people, super creative, practical effects, violent as hell, some nasty death sequences, characters that get killed left, right and center, people that are surviving you don't necessarily would survive, some seriously creative kind of practical sequences that just like, how the hell do they do that? Sets and locations and miniature models, and even a classic kind of cinema death from the Blob itself. Some great characters and great performances also in the film. Also just a really fun ride. Once it gets into its second act, and eventually into the third with the kind of finale in the town itself, it is absolutely batshit crazy, and I absolutely love it. You've got so much creative use of practical effects and kills and over the top kind of characters in places. It's just enough serious, it's just enough over the top and just enough silly, with plenty of twists and turns that take place in the film that has a bit of a spin upon the original idea from the original 50s movie. The Blob remake is an absolute definitive 80s experience, and I think everyone owes himself to watch this film once. So the reason why I picked this one for a Halloween pick is that it is a fantastic representation of its time. There is nothing really kind of like this, you know, apart from a couple of exceptions with the kind of David Cronenberg kind of universe in that sense, with his kind of practical effect nature. But I've never seen a film with this kind of high budget and this level of kind of creative nature and just overall fun with its characters and music and its practical effects and its violence, and it's having a couple of, you know, it's just having it. The film is just ultimately just a lot of goddamn fun. It has just the right enough kick-assery, it has just the right 80s kind of vibe to it. It has the right amount of kind of comedy and cheese and kind of, you know, kick-assery and horror and kind of tension. You know, no character is spared, nothing is guaranteed in this film, and it definitely goes in places that I absolutely loved, and I love revisiting this film every October for sure. Just to point out very quickly also, this is the Scream Factory version. Recently released. It is the exact same transfer as the Australian kind of import, if you've got that already, but this is a really good, nice premium edition that is packed full of extras, lots of brand new interviews and behind the scenes and making of, and there's a lot of actual fantastic use of practical effects and trickery in terms of the kind of the camera work and what they did to get and pull off some of these sequences, because this is all on set, this is all on location. Some of it's really quite impressive, and some of the stuff you just don't really think too much about, apart from maybe one or two sequences that are a little bit kind of, you know, dated, but there's not much really. The film holds up really well, and it looks really good on the Blu-ray edition that I got as well. So really fantastic premium edition from Shout Factory. Just a really kick-ass version. And I love the brand new poster artwork. It just kind of represents the chaos that this film eventually goes into for sure. Absolutely recommend this, guys. The Blob, the 80s remake by Chuck Russell.